You know, it's always such a good idea to learn a new language. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about 5 of the reasons why you should do just that. Hello everyone and welcome back to DC360. I started learning a new language recently and it's been such an amazing experience. But if you're curious to know what language that is, stay tuned and you'll find out soon enough. Okay, so the first reason, travel and culture. You don't necessarily need to know the language of the place that you're visiting to have an amazing experience. But imagine, for instance, let's say you go to Greece and you spend a couple of weeks there and you take in the amazing scenery, you go see the sights, you meet new people, you lodge at a hotel, you go to the beach, you go and eat at restaurants and everything. And that in itself is already a memorable experience for a lifetime. But now imagine if you had that same experience and you had even the smallest understanding of Greek. Trust me, every single thing, all those experiences will be more memorable when you understand what is going on around you. And the thing is that you feel more immersed in the culture. Even though yes, you're still a tourist, you don't feel as much of a stranger as someone who has no clue as to what's going on around them. Now, the second point is actually seeing things from a different perspective. Language is not just about the words. It's not just about, okay, this means this. The thing about language is that as you learn a language, you begin to see things from the perspective of the people who speak that language. There's so many things that can be lost in translation. It's very hard to find a concept in one language and translate it perfectly in another language. Some things are going to be missing. Is it that you put the exact words and you translate them word for word, which often never gives the same meaning, or you think of the concept and you think of another similar concept to the other language and you just say, and this means this. We are products of our environment. So let me use myself as an example. My perspective and my views have been shaped by the things that go on around me. But it's not limited to that. Part of the identity and part of the person I am today comes from the UK, America, because they speak English in those countries as well. Not to say that I've lived there or I'm claiming to be one of them. The podcasts I listen to, the shows I watch, the movies I watch, Hollywood plays a huge role, bigger than you think, on our identity as Nigerians. I'm able to tap into this properly because I speak English. When it comes to movies, I know people might counter this by saying that, yeah, but I speak English, I watch French stuff, I watch Spanish stuff, I watch telenovela, all these things are translated in English. But like I said, things are always lost in translation. And at the end of the day, if you're watching a show that is subtitled in English or has a voiceover in English, you are watching it in English. Somebody who understands that culture has already converted it to a way that you can understand it. But now, if you understood it in the language that thing was made, you would appreciate it a lot better. For instance, now I'm Yoruba. And even though my Yoruba is not really the best, when I'm watching a Yoruba movie and they have subtitles, I find myself ignoring the subtitles and just going with the flow. Because I understand the language to the extent that I do, I find it more interesting and enjoyable to just watch it the way that it was made. The translation lets you understand what they've said, but it doesn't translate the context. As I am now, a Nigerian man, black African, seeing a Senegalese man, an Ivorian man, a Guinean man. If I hear all of them speak, all I know is that they're speaking French. I wouldn't be able to tell the difference, But it's very easy for me to tell the difference between a Kenyan, a South African, a Nigerian, a Ghanaian. I'm able to understand that these cultures are different. And that might be difficult for a fellow African who is a French speaker. Now, I know a lot of what I've said is very subjective, but now this next one I'm going to give you is facts, it's pure fact. Do you know that learning a new language actually makes you smarter? Yeah, expands your IQ. When you learn a language, whichever language that you were brought up in, a certain part of your brain is, engaged and is developing over time. So the more you know, the more that part of your brain expands. Now, you reach a certain point where most of the things that you've already known them, and you're picking up fewer things as you grow older. When you learn a new language, what you're learning is totally brand new to you. So it's like another part of your brain opens up. Now, let me use a fitness reference. Look at it this way. Let's say you've been working only on your upper body and you've never touched your legs. They always say leg day is important, but you people always miss leg day. Leg day is important. Work on your legs. You now begin to work on your leg muscles while you're working on your upper body as well. At that point in time, it develops faster than your upper body because your upper body is already developed. The other part of your body becomes stronger and then it adds to the overall strength of your body. Learning a new language makes your brain buffer and fully fit. Learning a new language gives you professional opportunities. Let's say I worked in a huge multinational corporation and I've been doing so well in my position and they want to send me to another branch in, say, France. Imagine I couldn't speak French. That could actually tank that promotion. Imagine if there was someone else in my office that was even less qualified than me, but had an understanding for French. They could easily send that person instead of me because they understand French. And that is an opportunity lost. Even in the entertainment industry, it plays a role. Like the guy who plays Pablo Escobar in Narcos, Wagner Moura. He's not Colombian. He's not even Spanish, he's Brazilian. And he had such an amazing performance that people are so convinced that, okay, this is what Pablo Escobar must have been like. And come on, the beautiful Gal Gadot who plays Wonder Woman in the DCE, just speaking English puts her in that role. And there are countless more examples. Like, let me bring it back home. Someone like Falz the bad guy speaks English, he speaks Yoruba. And something you might not know is that Falz actually speaks French, and he makes some songs in French. And because of that, Falz has managed to create a large following for himself in French-speaking West African countries. And just by doing that, he has widen the scope of his following. He does it so seamlessly. He switches between languages in his songs. Like, just listen to this. Let's count this. This is Lafette. Yoruba. French. Yoruba. French. English. Very simple. Learning a new language makes you more interesting. It just adds something else. It puts like a feather in your hat. Imagine if you're with a group of friends and like there's nothing to differentiate you, but like you speak a different language, then you automatically become that guy that understands Swahili. You know, imagine if you go out on a date and like you need an icebreaker. Knowing a different language serves as a perfect icebreaker. So now I've given you my 5 reasons why it's important to learn a new language in 2020. I have a few pointers, when it comes to learning a new language. These are some of the things that if someone told me at the beginning, would have helped me. So first of all, when you want to learn a new language, chances are, like if you're not a genius, you're not going to learn the whole language in 1 week or 1 month or even a year. Because of that, I don't feel like your focus should be on learning the language in its entirety. Honestly, like when you start learning a new language, it's very important for you to be calm about it. I know that I'm here to have fun. I know that like there's a possibility that I wouldn't learn this language fully. There's really no pressure. Yo estoy aprendiendo español, or estoy aprendiendo español. That means I am learning Spanish. That journey of mine started last year actually. I've enjoyed it every step of the way. And like taking it back to my first point at the beginning of this video, travel and culture. Yo quiero ir a Andalucía para las montañas. Yo quiero ver los estadios de España en Barcelona, en Madrid, en Sociedad, en Valencia, en Villarreal. Yo no comprendo español mucho, but poco a poco. Estoy muy feliz con mi conocimiento de español. My conocimiento es muy poco. Step by step. I don't know what step is. What is step in Spanish? Paso a paso. So yeah, and just today, like I just learned a new thing now. Paso. Yo, like so many things I've picked up. Leche is milk. I'm looking to talk about animals. Gato is cat. Perro is dog. Caballo is horse. Water, agua. Food, comida. You might know something in the language, but you might not know how to say it in different forms. And that was one of the first things I learned in the language. So is O for me, S for you, and E for him or her. For instance, now I drink water. Yo bebo agua. You drink water. Tú bebes agua. He drinks water. Él bebe agua. She drinks water. Ella bebe agua. Car is automobile. Bus is autobus. Airport is aeropuerto. Door is puerta. I'm not saying that if you drop me in Spain now, I'll find my way around. I might actually get lost. I know I still have a long way to go. But like, it's been an amazing experience so far. I relate better now with some of the Spanish footballers that I see, and I watch some interviews in Spanish, and even though I don't pick up everything, I actually get the general idea. I think that's one of the most important things, actually beginning to get the general idea of something. Like while I was learning the language, I started watching this show, La Casa de Papel, which is Money Heist. Majority of the time I was watching the show just in Spanish, and I know a lot of things flew over my head, so sometimes I'll actually go back and put the subtitle on. I started listening to Spanish podcasts. My phone is actually in Spanish, and it was an icebreaker for me for some of the people that I met. So all the things I've talked about, I feel like a few of you might have actually been convinced a bit and you might be willing to take action. So this is the most important part, where you can actually learn new languages and how to learn a new language easily. For me, I opted for, mobile apps. The two I've actually tried, and I think they're actually the best language learning apps you can find in any store. Babbel and Duolingo. Babbel was actually the first one I ever used, and this was years ago. I actually used it to start learning German. And after a few days, I had to stop because I had to pay for it. Now, Duolingo is what I used to learn Spanish, and they offer a wide array of languages. I'm waiting for them to put Yoruba inside the database. When I first started using Duolingo, I did not know anything about Spanish. The first time you enter the app, for a specific language, they give you a test to, test what you know about the language. If you feel, they'll know where to put you, and they'll give you a series of lessons, and you can progress through the app, you can rise through the ranks. The better you get at it, the tougher the lessons you take get. One thing that's really encouraging in the app is that you have a streak. First time I started using Duolingo, I actually had a streak of 90 days right off the bat. That's 3 months. I was using Duolingo every single day for 3 months. And the beauty about Duolingo is that it doesn't take your time. So you literally just need to pop into Duolingo for 5 minutes a day. I can do that for a month. And just by doing that, your knowledge has expanded so much over that period of time. I'm actually going to send you my invite link, because for each person you invite to Duolingo, you get a free week on Duolingo Plus. Check out the app and use my invite link, so I'll get the bonus. I really appreciate that. You with a group of friends can decide to join the app together, and then within your own community, you can watch and match each other's progress. When you start learning it, take it in little doses. If you bombard yourself with it, you might become overwhelmed. You might just quit. So what you need to do is that over time, taking little steps and increase. And for me, my streak is back to 0. But making this video, I realized how much I really appreciate the learning process, and I'm going to start again. I want to see how long I can keep this up for. I remember 5 minutes a day, and that's all you need. But someday, I actually want to be a multilingualist. Imagine the size of brain I'll have. I've actually enjoyed making this video. This was fun. So thank you for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's do something fun. In the comment section, list all the languages that you can speak. From me, I speak English, I speak Pidgin, I speak Yoruba, and I speak Spanish. I'm still learning, but that's 4 from me. How many can you do? Do you have a better list than me? Let's see in the comment section. I'm actually interested to see what some of you people have.